So 2 days ago, the worst apology video was ever posted. Now, I haven't seen it. I wanted to go into this blind so you could see my reaction as well. But if you don't know, the apology in question is Collen. I forgot her last name, or if that's her first name. I don't know. She's Miranda Sings. You know, that YouTuber from back a couple years ago, like almost a decade ago, where she was really big. She put on that annoying voice with a lot of overlined makeup. Yeah, it's her. Now, what is she apologizing for? Well, grooming is like the thing that she's addressing in this, because she's being accused of grooming her fan base, because there's a lot of evidence of her asking young fans when she was, you know, an adult, like well into her adult years, asking her child fans what sex positions they like, different things about their bodies and stuff like that. Sending one fan her used underwear, and on top of that, having that fan that she sent the underwear to do a bunch of unpaid labor for her channel. This is some of the biggest things that someone could be accused of, is like grooming children. Like, that's a huge deal. Like, that is horrible. Let's see how she responded to the allegations. Oh no. Oh no. No, don't do it. You know, I thought I saw bad YouTuber apologies. Bring a dog in to make people feel sympathy. The CNMA one where she just danced and was like, as a teenager, we make mistakes. Never once did I think I'd see someone pull out a ukulele, you know, an instrument that, since it's been taken over by white people, since it like has been taken from like indigenous Hawaiians and shit like that, like, it's just got a bad reputation now, and this is gonna make it worse, because oh god. This is 10 minutes, by the way. If she does not put down the ukulele at some point and she just sings in response, because first, this is allegations about grooming children. You'd think you'd take those allegations and you respond to them with like a clarity and direct to the point without like any fluff or anything, and take it seriously. But I don't know. I don't know. I've never had to apologize for grooming children. This could be the standard.
I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining.
So instead of just addressing it, instead of just directly stating, here is the things that have happened, here is the things that have went on, this is not true, or this is true, and this is how I've handled this, or this and that, whatever her like response is, she's like singing a song, making sure everything rhymes to be like, you know, people's lying about me, but they don't care because da da da. Important context is she did post an apology years ago. Apology. She addressed these allegations because they did come up years ago, but only within her fan base, not like outside of her fans. Because this time it is outside of her fan base that is also seeing this. It's like a huge chunk of like her like section of the internet and like drama sections of the internet have like seen this now. Whereas before it was kind of insular within the community, and it was received very well. But some of the minors who've now grown up and stuff, and just pretty much said like the way she talked about it in her original apology isn't necessarily the case. And like, I gotta be honest, I watched a couple of those videos. It's like hours of like proof and stuff. It's like pretty solid. And in response to that, it's a 10-minute video with not pulling out receipts, not doing this, not doing that, trying to like, I don't know. Is this a YouTuber thing when you get so far removed from reality that like you just can't see how people wouldn't like something that you do? You can't see the optics of it. I thought when you get this big, you get like a PR team. Like you pay for that just to make sure like in a crisis situation, you do everything correctly. If I ever get this big, hopefully that does not damage my perceptions of the world. Because first of all, I wouldn't groom nobody. That's no. Wouldn't have to apologize for it. But let's say I have to apologize for something in the future, because it could happen. We mess up. We do bad things. If I have to apologize in the future and you see me doing stuff like this, it's gone too far, you need to kill me, because what is this?
All aboard the toxic gossip train. You're chugging down the tracks of misinformation.
Okay, let's like ignore the context of this, everything. The song's shit. The song's objectively garbage. If you're gonna not take the situation serious, you gotta at least have some artistry with it. You know, if you're gonna spit in the face of like the victims or whatever, you gotta at least like drop a banger. Like we's talking like Love is Rage 2 type banger. We's talking like To Pimp a Butterfly type banger. We's talking like you need to drop the pinnacle of art. You know? That's the only way he's gonna have people come to your side. Like R. Kelly, he's been like literally accused, sent to prison for touching kids, doing weird stuff. There's still people that would defend him because they like that man's music. If you want music to be your defense, you gotta put it all in. And this is not that. This is a mediocre performance. She should have just played Riptide. She should have just played Riptide. It would have been a lot better probably because at least that's a song that was made by a professional songwriter.
Hi everyone. I've been wanting to come online and talk to you about a few things. Even though my team has strongly advised me to not say what I want to say, I recently realized that they never said that I couldn't sing.
So she does have a team. And she just ignored them. She goes, yes, y'all the professionals who like handle stuff like this, who work with some of the most problematic people to make sure they still get in the good graces of society. I will ignore you. And I will get you on a technicality. I won't say it, I'll sing it. It's official. The audacity of white people. I don't get it. I don't know. What scares me is this isn't my DNA. This isn't my blood. For all I know we could be cousins. These types of bad decisions could be rotten up here. And if I get big, which I will, this could go horribly wrong for me. No, but she literally is just spit in the face of victims. I know I was making jokes to like try and like take the uncomfortability off. This is like the most serious things you could deal with. Like this is horrific stuff. Like it's the type of things that like, when I was watching the videos over like the allegations, the things that she's done with like proof and receipts, like, I typically don't get that stomach queasy feeling for much things, especially watching stuff. Like, I think like gore, like really bad gore and like body horror is like the stuff that gets me with that. But this stuff made me feel like that. Like looking over like what she did, the evidence behind it, it made me feel queasy because of the position that she put minors in, like young children in. And to have her response just to come in and be like a song. I know I was making jokes and like maybe that's not my place to do, but like it's like I like otherwise like right now I was like talking about it in a very serious manner. I feel gross. Like I feel gross, like physically gross. I will take a shower after this because I just feel gross. And I wasn't the one who did it. Now obviously maybe that said something. Because if she's the one to do these things, if she's the one to do these actions, she obviously doesn't care. You know what I mean? And if she did this in the past and she still doesn't care, that means she hasn't grown. And that's why she's able to do stuff like this. That's why she's able to put this into like this weird, sarcastic, tongue-in-cheek song that like tries to be self-aware.
Many years ago, I used to message my fans, but not in a creepy way like a lot of you are trying to suggest. It was more of a loser kind of way, where I was just trying to be besties with everybody.
You asked 15-year-olds what their favorite sex position was. Yeah, you might have had a situation where it was like the reverse of parasocial relationships, like and how they normally act. Instead, you had a parasocial relationship with your audience. I've talked about how I used to be in a similar position. I was 16 though, and I also did not ask like people younger than me for like what their favorite sex position was. I didn't DM random fans what their favorite sex position was. Like what? Excuse me? Oh, I did it in a loser way. You asked 15-year-olds what their favorite. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
In all seriousness, I do think it's really important to hold people accountable for their mistakes. You know, we should hope that everyone can learn from their mistakes and grow.
Unless it's me. Unless it's me. If it's me, shut the f up! Oh, Jesus Christ, man. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Like I can already hear the comments on this video. She's gaslighting, manipulating. Oh, she's a narcissist and a rat. I would never make a mistake like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that all of you are perfect, so please criticize me.
Sorry, but yeah, you could make a criticism about how people online act like they're perfect and they act performative to try and, you know, remove attention from anything that could have ever done wrong. No, that is like a fair assessment you can make online, but I don't think it really works when there's proof and evidence of you interacting with minors in a very weird way where you act them like really creepy things, and you send one your used underwear. Rather, like, it doesn't matter. Like, what? Do you think that's a common thing that a lot of people do, that like everyone's just out there like talking to kids weird? No. I don't like what? I mean, regardless of your intentions, regardless if you wanted to like have intercourse with those children or not, it doesn't matter. You still was very creepy about sexual things, and I feel like being sexual with children is a very like no thing. Like, that's a line that you should never cross unless you was an educator teaching them about sex ed, or like their parent who was teaching them about sex ed. That's like the 2 times it's okay to directly talk to a child about sex.
I also wanted to take a minute to talk about that girl Miranda sings. You know the one. Yeah, her. She's PG-13. It says that on my website, and it's always been that way. And that's why you won't find my videos on the YouTube Kids app. Anyway, I didn't realize it was my responsibility to decide what was appropriate for every kid to see.
You talk to kids directly. You talk to children directly. It wasn't like you just said things in your videos. I don't know your videos. I didn't watch your videos. Don't care about your videos. You message these people in group chats directly. I don't think you understand. This is not about what was in your YouTube videos necessarily. And maybe some people's talking about that. Sure, I don't care. I don't care because I don't know them. I don't have the time and effort to put into you. You message people directly, now you're trying to obfuscate and like, I don't get it. How hard for is it to just like get off the internet? If you can't even like own up to the stuff that you've done, if you can't even do that, like what? Okay, again, I've talked about this online. I have in the past made racist jokes online. I had tweets. I got held accountable for those tweets. I have since apologized multiple times. I have tried to show with my behavior that that was in the past, that it's very different now, and make sure that everyone feels included. And if people don't forgive me, that's fine. I'm not entitled to that. But what you'll see here in this, right, is that entitlement, that everyone should be, you've talked about it before, it should be over. But here's the thing. I, like, for example, with my thing, and I was bringing up my example from my own life, because like I've talked about this with multiple people. Just because you apologize for something doesn't mean the other person has to accept it. Especially online, given the fact that like, this isn't a person you see in your everyday life. This is not how it works. It's either they consumed your content and then they stopped, or they never consumed your content and they don't really care. You're not entitled to forgiveness. You know what I mean? You're not entitled to anything. If people don't want to, especially people who've been affected, like the people who have been affected by this stuff, if they don't want to accept your apology, they do not have to. They're not entitled to. And if they do not, and they don't think you're genuine, even if you is, you should take that in stride, because that is a consequence of your actions. And what you see right here is her trying to shit on people for like, not just being like, oh, she changed, da da da. It doesn't matter if you did things wrong, and that will stick with you for the rest of your life. If you genuinely cared about your impact that you have made, you would recognize that, but you don't care. You care about getting through the controversy, getting through the problem, moving past your problematic era just to look better so you can make more money on your tours and stuff. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to go, I was wrong. And some people will never like you again, and that's okay. I don't get it.
Have I made some jokes in poor taste? Yes. Have I made lots of dumb mistakes? Yes. Am I sad that there are some fans who feel betrayed? Yes. But was my intention to manipulate?
I don't care. Was your intention to manipulate? Who gives a f? Oh my God, this is my problem so many times. Like, people I've interacted in my own life, people online, they talk about their intent. And yes, your intent does change kind of how it can be perceived, like the actions that you did. But like, here's the adage that I kind of like try to live by, is like impact over intent. For example, let's say like as a religious cultist, I believe that everyone would be better if they die, because then they can go to the afterlife. It's a blessed afterlife and they'd be a lot happier. If I go around and kill people just because my intention was to save their souls, that doesn't make me a good person. I killed people. Now that's an extreme example that takes that to its extreme, but it's apply the same principle to this. I don't care if your intent was to da-da-da. You did something and it impacted people, and you need to recognize that.
The only thing I've ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats. I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser.
Huh? Sorry. Again, don't think you're taking this seriously when you write a song and you say, I'm not a groomer. The only thing I groomed is my cats.
Tied me to the tracks and harassed me for my past. Rumors look like facts when you don't mind the gaps. I won't survive in the crash, but...
That's just like guilt tripping. Like, oh, the thing you're saying, I won't survive the crash. What? We should feel guilty if, like, you get the consequences of your actions. That's what you don't want. I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy. Yes, I know what it's like to be online and have thousands of people say awful things about you. First of all, I've experienced that because I was trans. I've experienced that a lot because I was trans, but I've also experienced that because I've done things wrong online. Like I said earlier, you know, those tweets resurfaced and people looked at them. There was a lot of people who not even criticized those tweets, but then took shots at my appearance, my personality, stuff like that. And like, well, some could argue that it's mean. I completely get it. Someone did a shitty thing and people want to feel better about it. People did, like, if someone does a shitty thing, it's normal to tear that person down. You could argue about the ethics of it all day, but it's normal. And I don't think it's my place to criticize people who did that because it's not about me. It's about the actions and how those impacted people. I mean, it is about me, but it's not about me per se. The issue is larger than me. I participated in something and I need to do better because it was my actions that hurt people. It's the same thing here. This is a problem that is larger than just Miranda sings, the character or the real person behind it. Like, grooming is a large issue. Interacting with children sexually is a large issue. It's not just you. You is not the sole problem. Just because it's the center of your world, because it's about you, doesn't mean you's the sole problem with this whole thing. But you need to recognize your place in it and what you have done and the damage that caused.
Sometimes people make a mistake and it doesn't make them a horrible person.
Okay, sure, whatever, yeah. I firmly believe that bad people, good people, that's not really super helpful. There's people who consistently make bad decisions and things that harm people, and there's people who tend to make better choices, good choices that tend to do good for other people. And there's people who do both, who make bad decisions that hurt people and good decisions that help people. Yeah, sure. People's not just a bad person and a good person. There's complex and there's nuance there. But if that's your response when people say, wow, you're a bad person, you groomed somebody, and then they show you the proof of that, and that's your response, doesn't seem like you care about the fucking issue.
Doesn't make them a terrible human. It just makes them a human. But what do I know? Fuck me, right?
Wow, that has to be one of the worst things I've ever heard. Objectively, the song was bad. It's 10 minutes, it's kind of rambly, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when you look at the actual issues, it doesn't respond to any of the allegations, it doesn't really clarify anything, it just kind of obfuscates things, and it's not really good at addressing anything. So objectively, I think this one isn't a subjective thing, this is objectively bad art. You fucked up, you did bad art, Miranda, or Colleen, or whatever. You also have to apologize for that now, because what? Like, it's not every day that you see an apology that just makes everything worse. Like, this makes her, if she wants to fix this in the future, she will have to apologize for this apology. How did you get in this position? You could have easily also just been like, not gone in line. I don't know your financial situation. You could have done something else. You could have easily transitioned. People who groom kids all the time live fine. You just brought yourself in the public eye once again to do this. I understand she's been in public eye, but like, you could have just disappeared if you wanted to like just preserve yourself. But no, you care about your image. You care about all these different things because you care about your image more than the people actually impacted. More about yourself even. It's odd. You got internet brain rot and you need help. We all need help, but you need it a lot because you can't even see where the problem is with this one. It's not just like, oh, I did a mistake. I did a curriculum mistake. Oops, we's human. We all make mistakes. This is a mistake that really impacts people. It like causes real damage. and you need to take seriously. And a 10-minute song where you sing over ukulele isn't taking the situation seriously. This video has 4.9 million views and only 66,000 likes. Again, don't know how many dislikes. I don't have the extension enabled to see how many dislikes, but I imagine it's quite a lot of dislikes. I imagine the internet didn't like this too much. Let's just take a look at the top couple of comments. Just real quick. This is so painfully millennial. I feel like that one comment's enough. It's very millennial. Like, it is to the core millennial meme. The only thing I could have made it more millennial is if she had a cup of coffee and she zoomed in on her face. If you need to apologize for something in front of hundreds of thousands to millions of people, don't ever pull out a ukulele. Why would you ever think that's okay? What the and okay, that's the video. If you like this one, subscribe, leave a like, comment down below your thoughts, your opinions. This one is probably a video where a lot of people have a lot of opinions. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. Have a great day. Yeah, goodbye.